right to education, right to health, right to food, and all the other socio-economic rights that Nigerians ought to enjoy and can challenge the government for in the Constitution, which is not there right now. That's the question. I guess I clarified it clearly. That's right. So let's start with the candidate of Hope Party.
Our party stands for, like the name implies, hope. Hope is hope for the new Nigeria. And we have a lot of programs which are all free for Nigeria. Let me start by education. If you look at educational system in our country, it's only those that can train their children from primary to the institution level. If Hope is elected into power, we promise Nigerian education from primary school to the tertiary institution will be free for all Nigerians. And if you look at the issue of unemployment, our party is now in the position to revolutionize the whole sector in order to create more job opportunities for our youth, because all the cause of this violent other things is lack of employment. If people have doing, you can't find them doing something that will against their own nation. When we back to the history, when our industries are fully working, nobody is scared to work for the government, because those industry, you may have one industry is operating like 3 times a day. We have morning shifting, afternoon, and even evening. So most of the Nigerians at that times, they have something doing. Not like now we found ourselves. You see many graduates are moving on the street without doing anything. They are jobless. So our party also have a program of free housing for Nigerians. Because if you know that you can have a house, you can't bother yourself to go and maybe steal Nigerian money, or what am I going to say? Steal Nigerian money for the purpose of building a house or buying a...
Thank you very much. Thank you, Hope Party. UPP, the question is, what will your party do about the justiciability of Nigerians' socio-economic rights?
Yes. Thank you, Nigerians. First of all, the theme of our campaign, presidential campaign under our presidential candidate, Chief Chikwasokore, PhD, is revolutionary leadership. We are aware that most of the revolutionary policies we intend to carry out are not protected under Nigerian law. So first of all, it's not enough, like my brother rightly pointed out, to say you are going to do this for the less privileged in the society that are not taken care of, cut across the old women, the children that are hawking on the streets, the unemployed youth, without enabling law that will make it possible. So first of all, we are going to pursue the amendment of law to make sure. It is unfortunate that in the whole of Nigeria, there is no very good center that take care of the aged people. It is a crime against humanity to see our retirees queue, some of them stranded on the road, suffering to get the entitlement out of their sweats, having served this country diligently. We are not going to tolerate that because our policy is going to pursue such aggressively. We are going to provide incentives that will make it attractive for underage little children that are running away from school to go to school. I want to associate myself with some of the state governments. Our party associates with some of the state governments that are providing incentives such as lunch and certain incentives to encourage little children to come to school. So we are going to make sure, first of all, that there is an enabling law to take care of all this cadre of persons in the society to make it feasible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me remind the representatives that you are very free to sip water anytime you want to. The turn of the representative of COA Party.
Well, thank you very much. I agree with the last speaker that we are going to provide an enabling law that will at least help to ensure that we create a noble environment for our people to adhere to their socio-economic activities. And in Nigeria, we are full of policy planning and policy making, but we are not good in implementing the policy and the program that we design. And this is what has happened with the system of education. If you remember, we have so many revised versions of policy of education, and so many revises of the program of food security, and so on and so forth. So there are so many issues that need to be addressed, and that's why the idea of organizing a constitutional conference came up, because there are so many loopholes within the Constitution and within the framework of the activities of our governance as a nation that we need to reconsider and we need to address. And all this program and plans goes back to the reference room. So we are going to ensure that we implement all design plans and program that has to do with the socio-economic program of this nation.
20 seconds.
Since from the inception of this nation up to now. We are going to review this in 1 year, and we must ensure that we provide a solution to act on them, because we cannot always keep allowing our young people, our talented people to be designing plans that we cannot implement. And this is what our administration is going to do if elected.
Thank you very much, representative of the PDP.
Thank you. Our party, and particularly the presidential candidate, is not comfortable with the non-justiciability of economic rights and socio-economic rights generally, and particularly what we regard as the provisions in the Constitution concerning education. Education he sees as a right of every Nigerian. But this is classified. In the Constitution, you see certain things that are immediate goals of the nation, some that are long-term goals. In the PDP, we saw it initially as part of our aspirational goals to ensure that it is made justiciable. But now that some foundation have been laid, after extending education to different categories of non-school going children, you hear about the Almajiri program that he instituted and implemented. We hear about the out-of-school children in some parts of the country, those of the fishermen, cattle rearers, and all that. Provisions are being made for every Nigerian child to go to school. But to make it effective and to ensure that they maximize the opportunities that derive from such, it will have to be made justiciable, which means that whoever wants to prevent them will see the Constitution as something that could be used against him.
20 seconds.
And of course, once it is justiciable, it will be possible at any time, not just to sue some governments that refuse to give education to the children of Nigerians in that state. Some parents too may have to pay for it, because you cannot afford, and Nigeria cannot afford to keep some children out of school. The children that do not go to school in places like Delta State or Sokoto or Lagos or Kwara are potential sources of danger to those who go to school. This is why it should not be regarded as luxury. This is why it has to be made justiciable.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now we'll go back to the audience. Please kindly introduce yourself before you ask your questions. All right, the gentleman on my left, please. Please kindly introduce yourself.
Good evening. My name is Alistair Shuade from London, United Kingdom, Chairman Nigerian and Diaspora Leadership Forum, and it's good to have. And quickly as well, Chairman Ben Television, which is based in the United Kingdom. My question really is on the behalf of the diaspora. What is your party doing or will be doing for the diaspora? As you know, there's more than 10 million Nigerians in the diaspora who have been economically contributing to the development of this nation. And I believe as well among the parties there, already there was a party that has been saying for the last 6 years that they will include the diaspora to be voting. That is yet to be executed. Thank you.
All right, let the candidate of COA start.
Well, thank you very much. With regard to the issue of our brothers and sisters that are in diaspora, what we are saying that we are going to operate a kind of an inclusive government. An inclusive government required a number of personality to administer, and those people that came from that area, those stakeholders. What we are saying, that idea of allowing diaspora to contribute their quotas for the meaningful development of Nigeria had been in existence since, but there is nothing done. In our administration, if elected, what we intend to do, that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, we will allow our people of diaspora to bring in the Minister of Foreign Affairs, so that through him, they will prefer the solution and ideology that they want us to use in Nigeria as a way forward to ensure that we have succeed in all what we are doing. I think this is the cardinal objective of our party. We are going to have an inclusive government so that in this regard, those people in the diaspora, if they are allowed to contribute in their own way, you see, the idea of making policies in Nigeria, we just sit down in the Aso Rock and design policies and programs that we don't have even the idea of that program. But if you allow the person to come in as the member of the cabinet, sitting, knows everything that is going on in the cabinet, the highest decision-making body of the country, that he knows how to contribute, and he knows that those people that want to contribute, this is the way they are going to contribute. And they have access to him as the Minister of Foreign Affairs. They will talk to him because he is a friend of them. So that is our ideology, that is our program, that we will allow those people in the diaspora to contribute meaningfully to the development of Nigeria as a nation. There is no business as usual appointing those people in the position that they don't know even how to organize things the way it's supposed to be and allow it to happen. Like, this is our contribution.
Thank you very much. Representative of the PDP.
Thank you. The diaspora. The diaspora initiative, NEDO, Nigerian Diaspora Organization, is an initiative of the People's Democratic Party. It was conceived and designed by the People's Democratic Party and handed over to the government of the PDP for implementation as a matter of policy. And one will see, in appreciation of what has been going on, the empowerment that they've been giving the Nigerians at home, the billions of dollars that they send home and so forth, are adequately appreciated. And of course, when we look at the cabinet, even beyond the cabinet, we look at the parastatals at the federal level. Many of those anchoring, managing affairs at this level are members of the diaspora. They came from the diaspora. They were identified as people who have something concrete, something special to contribute to the development of our nation. That is why they were invited. We will continue to promote this, and I believe that the candidate of my party, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, will do everything to ensure that some of the areas that still need to be covered, there is still some money to be covered, to ensure that they get full rights in the area of voting and some other areas, that these are ensured. And of course, this will be guaranteed by the time that the Nigerian people give mandate back to the candidate as well as other members of the National Assembly and the platform of our party.
Thank you very much, representative of Hope Party. What's your party's agenda for Nigerians in diaspora?
Thank you very much. Our party has a plan for our brothers and sisters who are outside of our country. as diasporas Nigerians. I agree with the last speaker that the present government has provided a means for our brothers and sisters who are outside Nigeria, but yet it's not satisfiable. But we, as a Hope Democratic Party, with my able presidential candidate, who is also a diaspora, because he's a British trained lawyer, he knows the problems of our people there, and he knows how to reach each and every area to touch their life like they are still in Nigeria. And again, we also have a program for those people
20 seconds.
in diaspora. The program we have for our people in Nigeria, it will reflect to those that are outside Nigeria. So automatically our system of government will be inclusive with those our sisters and brothers that are outside the country, because we always regarding them as a Nigerian because they are representing Nigeria. Whatever they did there, it will reflect back to our nation. So we don't want them to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. UPP.
Thank you. First of all, our party is favorably disposed to promoting very radical and enabling laws that will give better accommodation for Nigerians in diaspora. First of all, from the part of Nigeria where I come from, Nigerians living abroad support over 25% of the families that are living in Igbo land. And they contribute up to 25%, about 20 to 25% to our economy. Therefore, they should be allowed to participate directly in the economy of Nigeria. And we have given practical expression to that. The Director General of our campaign organization is a member board of trustees of World Igbo Congress in New Jersey. He's leading our campaign here in Nigeria. It is part of accommodating them in our political process here. We want to see a UPP government. We want to see Nigerians living in diaspora cast their votes as they are watching these programs from their various homes. They should be able to cast their votes to exercise their franchise as Nigerians. And then secondly, we don't really find it funny when we see across the globe Nigerians languishing in various jails for very flimsy felony that ordinarily government would have made timely interventions to protect our citizens abroad.
20 seconds.
The United Progressive Party, under the leadership of Chief Chekwa Sokore, PAD, shall pursue aggressively the interests of Nigerians living outside this country. The same way we are protecting our citizens in Nigeria, we shall also give them such quality protection as Nigerian citizens. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question. The gentleman on my right. Please introduce yourself before your question. Thank you.
Victor Oladokun, 3D Global Consult. In the last few months, we've seen a precipitous decline in the cost, or rather the price of crude oil. In the same period, we've also seen a deterioration in the value of the Naira. Given these realities, how does your leadership and your parties intend to fulfill the promises that you've all made today? Thank you very much.
All right, let's begin with the representative of the PDP.
Thank you very much. We anticipated, our candidate was aware of the type of fluctuation that will happen to a country that depends on mono economy. This is why the idea of sovereign wealth fund was introduced. And this is why he has been paying so much attention to the agricultural sector. because we cannot continue to depend on oil. Anything can happen at any time. And if we see that when we look at it, the GDP under him grew by a record of 8.29% during the last quarter of 2010 and over 7% in 2011. And now, by January last year, we had become, at that time, the third fastest growing economy, which shows the direction that he has been going. And when he comes back, by the grace of God and the mandate of the Nigerian people, we see that he will be able to handle it in such a way that we will not only be attested to be, one of the leading economies, and the Nigerian people will be able to feel this. At the moment, the reserves rose from 37 billion by May, I think that is 2012, to the highest level in 21 months. Now, when we look at what is happening, we see that that adjustment has been further made in such a way that we are being classified as one of the 3 fastest growing economies. The initiative of the Sovereign Commonwealth Fund that I referred to earlier on, with just a seed capital of 1 billion at that time, we can now see what the country will benefit from it, to kickstart it, and of course, is to serve as a stabilization fund, so that whatever we are feeling from what is happening to oil will not adversely affect our economy beyond what is manageable. And more importantly, by the type of revolution that is taking place even in the oil and gas industry itself, we will be able to flow along. And by diversifying, which we have started, we will not be talking about oil affecting the direction of our economy in another 3 to 4 years from now. We will now be reaping the gains of the foresight that has been demonstrated during the past 2 years, which will be built on.
Thank you very much.
Transformation.
Thank you. Representative of Hope Party.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. That is the danger of what we call monopoly, our source of income in Nigeria. We all depend on oil. We forget what we inherit from our forefathers. Because Nigeria was built based on agriculture. But today, we abandon practicing agriculture. So our party has a bunch of programs to diversify our economics into productive sector and boost our agriculture into mechanized farming and directly funded by government. If we are being elected into that office, we cannot depend on oil because we see how the price is fluctuating. And we already budgeting our plans based on, let's say, $60-something. But today, look at the price of the dollars. How are you going to couple? We don't have any contingency to fill the gaps in our budgeting. So that is the danger. So our own government will diversify the economy. We cannot rely on oil money. We are going to diversify this economy source of our incomes into productive sectors, building industries.
Time up.
Thank you very much. A representative of UPP.
Thank you. First of all, we are going to encourage diversification of our economy. I'm a very strong believer, and I know as a fact, that Nigerians like making use of made in Nigerian products when they have quality. If you look at this hall here now, you see that over 50% of persons here are putting on locally made fabrics, and we are coming out very fine and beautiful. Nigeria has the best wire in the whole world. But when the Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, when they are strengthened to make sure that Nigeria is not a destination for fake and substandard products, Nigerians will begin to patronize more of our products, and even because most of our products begin to attract export earnings for us. We find it very, very sad that certain sectors of this economy that are supposed to break the Nigerian economy away from this our mono economy based on oil, income from oil will end. Look at the Ajokuta steel industry. That particular industry alone has the capacity to feed the entire Africa, yet it's still lying camotas there. And it's very, very unfortunate. Nigeria is the most blessed country in the whole of the world. There's no community in Nigeria that you cannot find in large quantities mineral resources that have capacity to generate employment, generate funds, and boost the economy, and Nigeria will be better for it. So when these things are done, our economy will grow. Countries like Saudi Arabia are ready to allow the oil get to 14 naira per dollar, and they will still make progress. Because we did not save during the rainy days, our officers in government still go with taxpayers' money, with long conference of vehicles, and Nigerians will be hailing them. If we don't cut such costs in government expenditure, we cannot do better for this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions?
No, we are here to take the power party.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. Well, the issue that we are dealing with, it cannot be just answered simply like this, because if there is a drop in the petroleum sector, in the price of crude oil, then it's a simply say, well, okay, why can't we add the supply? Because if we are having maybe 1 million barrels per day, why can't we add it to be 3 million barrels per day, so that we will cater the normal income that we used to have? If at least it's a simple answer that you can answer. But you have to look at the phenomenon. You have to look at the market. You have to look at the demand. There are so many technical issues under the issue of this. I don't believe, okay. Last year around maybe January, we have about $137 per barrel. Last year around January. I think it's around that figure. And this year we are having about 55 or so. Okay, increase the supply, so that that is it. If it is just simple, why can't you say that let's increase the supply? But it is not like that. It not goes like that. You need to look at the market, look at the strategic, and look at what is happening. It's a long-time plan if you are thinking of reviving the local economy, the raw materials that was not used. It's a long-time plan. I agree with that. But you need what you can sustain the government with for now. I think that is the question that is being raised, because we have made so many promises, and we have so much line on the issue of crude oil. So how do we do that? I think we can technically look into that and look at the demand and supply of crude oil in the market and see how far we can go. There are so many issues, even with the extraction of the crude oil. I think that time will not permit us to discuss.
Thank you very much. Now, can we take more questions? Okay, the young lady on my left, just behind the first seat. Yes, please.
Thank you for the compliment, young lady. My name is Barrister Amakri. Good evening, gentlemen. My question is very pertinent to people that are indecisive which party they're going to vote for right now. Because I'll take myself, for example, I'm looking for the country to go forward. I'm not looking for incumbent, or I'm looking for how my country could go forward. The question I have, are any of your parties interested in choosing professionals from other parties if you get into power? I say this because President Rawlings, when he became president under democracy, had to look at the brains professionals in other parties, and before you knew it, Ghana turned around and went forward.
Sorry to interject. Could you go straight to your question?
The question is, are you able to incorporate other professionals that can be part of your party, your ministers, as long as they come from other parties, or you're not going to be all-inclusive? I want my country to go forward, and that's the type of party I'm looking for. Do you understand the question?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sure they understand the question. Let's begin with the representative of UPP.
Thank you very much for that question. Just about 3 weeks ago, when we attended the Great Abuja Peace Accord, our presidential candidate, Chief Chikwa Sokore, did emphasize that UPP is going to promote government of national unity. That is, government finding accommodation for other political parties. And our party also associates with the position of President Goodluck Jonathan, whose speech that day, half of it, was dwelling on government of national unity. Our own position is, politics is not supposed to be do or die. It ought not to be do or die. And it's not also to be winner takes all. The way our faces are, the way we belong to different political parties, that is the much we have different things to offer to improve the lives and the quality of lives of Nigerians. So we strongly believe that a united progressive party under the presidency of Chief Dr. Chikwa Sokore will find it readily easy to accommodate professionals of Nigerians, both within and abroad, who have distinguished themselves in various areas that will add value to governance. Thank you.
Let's have the representative of Hope.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Under my presidential candidate, High Chief Ambrose Albert Ouro, our party in this direction has resolved to work with other opposition political parties, organizations, individuals, including even the present government, that is PDP, to address these nagging issues and evil bedwelling nation and development. So if you look at this, we Hope Party were in that direction already. We are ready to make our government as a teamwork government. Each and every political party is welcomed by Hope Democratic Party because we want our party to carry each and everyone alone. We are a opposition party, and by willing of God, we are going to take power 2015, inshallah. I want the Nigerians to judge. Forget about the painting of political party rallies there and there, but look at the qualities and the compassionate of the leaders of this. Look at the lineup of this presidential. And my sister that make this question, she's a barrister. She know how he can transform this nation because he's already in the system. He know the rules and regulation, and he know the laws of the country.
Thank you very much. Representative of PDP.
Thank you. To the learned Nigerian who raised that question, and millions who are watching, who are yet to make up their minds, who belong to that category, you already have a party in place that has been doing that, not just promising to bring in professionals and others who are not members of their party. President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has been doing it. He's been bringing in people who do not necessarily belong to the PDP, but these are professionals who have been trained, who are patriotic, who are resourceful, who are dynamic, who have the vision of a better tomorrow. They are part of this administration, and many more will be brought in. The way he has been showing his commitment to bring in women into cabinet, to strategic positions, he will also be doing this. so long as these Nigerians have something concrete to contribute and they are patriotic enough to know that coming to serve in government is a call to national service. Thank you.
Thank you very much. COA Party.
Thank you very much. I've been emphasizing on that our administration will be an inclusive government, including those in the other party. We must make sure that we put our hands together so that we move the nation forward. Ours is how do we move this nation forward, not business as usual. How do we transform Nigeria? Transform, better transformation, through transformation, not arrogating sanity that is not there. We want to move forward as a nation with proper focus, with proper ideology, with sincerity of purpose. And by doing this, we must include other political parties, especially those that participate. If not, whatever meaningful development we will bring, they must bring us down for them to get another chance to participate in the next election. But if everybody is being considered and have been respected to call to duty to serve his fatherland, and I believe that we will move forward. And another issue is that we are not talking only. I was bitterly concerned with the issue of strike action in this country. Even now, as we are talking to you now, the health workers are on strike. How do we resolve this issue meaningfully? So our party have a very good package on the way and manner we are going to handle the whole of the issue of strike action. I am assuring Nigerians, if they allow us to contribute, no any strike action anymore. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. We have spent so much time. At this point in time, we are going to be giving the representatives of the parties an opportunity to make their closing statements. Please be as brief as possible so that we can. As you recall, at the beginning you were told that this is a live radio and television show, and we are moving towards that time when we must disengage. So the political parties have an opportunity now to make their closing remarks. Let's begin with UPP.
Good evening, Nigerians. I present to you United Progressive Party with our presidential candidate, Chief Dr. Chekwas Okorie, and the vice presidential running mate, Alhaji Barrister Bello Omar. United Progressive Party present to Nigerians that alternative choice and platform to liberate us from this our socio-political situation to a better Nigeria that we all pray for. United Progressive Party is a mass movement. It's not just a political party.
10 seconds more.
We are more concerned with the welfare of Nigerians. We have in our fold men of impeccable integrity who are not candidates of Economic and Financial Crime Commission, who are not recycled politicians, but men that have high dose of integrity and vision to promote and push Nigeria forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hope?
Good evening, Nigerians. Here present and listener at homes and abroad. I present you my candidate, High Chief Ambrose Albert Owuro, a lawyer, barrister, a son who is ready to transform Nigeria with corresponding action and commitments. I can tell you, Nigerians, the game now is between a trained barrister and a leader, and the retired soldier and zoology. Then which Nigerians need now?
Your time is up. Thank you. Representative of the PDP.
Well, once again, Nigerians, we are at the critical junction where choices are to be made. It was here in the city of Abuja, way back in 1998, that some committed, eminent Nigerians who fought the military and saved Nigeria from the recklessness that characterized that rule at that time, when retroactive laws were being used to send Nigerians to untimely death and all kinds of unlawful activities, extrajudicial murder, and the type of rulership that Nigeria will swear never to have. They formed it, and to the grace of God, to the glory of God, we have been able to move Nigeria to this stage. Now we have a product, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who has been able to stabilize this country, who stands for peace, who stands for progress, and who stands for the development and transformation of this country.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Again. Thank you very much.
COA party.
Thank you very much. And distinguished Nigerians. Hence, what I call the paternal system of government have not solved our political and socio-economic crisis. Why can't we now try maternal, what I call maternal system of government, so that we will do what it happened in India.
Please, we are not allowed to applaud or interrupt, please.
In Bangladesh, and even our neighboring country in Liberia. If you remember, since the assassination of Samuel Doe, Liberia was not in peace until when we have a feminine leader that is a
10 seconds more.
Feminine in gender is leading. Why can't we now try Professor Mrs. Comfort Oluremi Shonaya as our next presidential candidate of COA party? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. And indeed, thank you for your contributions, representatives of the COA party, PDP, HOPE, and UPP. Well, at this point in time, we invite the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the NEDG, Mr. Shola Omole, to please come to the podium and make representations of the certificates of participation. We also like to invite Arewo Taiwo Alimi to please join him.
Thank you.
I think that I can use the authority of the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Nigerian Elections Debate Group to authorize you now to applaud these gentlemen. Thank you very much. Before I present the certificates of participation to each of them, I want to re-emphasize what I said at the beginning, that all political parties were invited to participate in this event today. We contacted them physically by visitations, we sent official letters which were acknowledged, and we sent text messages, and we had many telephone conversations. We think that we have demonstrated that this is a fair process that allows everybody to be able to express themselves thoroughly. There are several debates still to come. We deeply hope and strongly feel that all the political parties will send their representatives to debate these issues for the benefit of Nigerians. Let me now, on behalf of NEDG, present these certificates of participation to the representatives of the parties here. I'll start with the COA party.
The PDP. HOPE party.
Congratulations.
And the UPP.
Congratulations.
May we at this point also request the representatives of the parties to have another handshake and embrace.
Now we would like
you
to
very
welcome
much.
Bubakar Jujua, DG, Voice of Nigeria, for the closing remark.
Thank you very much. Fellow Nigerian listeners and viewers whose homes we have invaded for the past 2 hours, we want to thank you for faithfully watching and listening to this debate, which is the first in the series, despite other activities you might have had. And we thank you, and we promise you more debates are coming for the vice presidency and for the presidency between now and very early in February. All the dates will be announced. I want to thank, on behalf of the NEDG, the distinguished representatives of the political parties that have found time to come here. Despite the enormous politicking going on and electioneering going on, you found time to be with us and to tell Nigerians your activities. Thank you very much. We look forward to more participation in the subsequent debates. Distinguished fellow town hall members, community members of the town hall, thank you very much for taking your time, coming this evening to join us and participating. We apologize that we cannot take all the questions, but we believe that we have tried to be as representative as possible. My colleagues on the NEDG, thank you very much for the very, very difficult task. We've been here doing a lot of, it takes a lot of hard work to have the kind of stage we have here. And I believe that we'll continue to improve. On behalf of all of us, thank you very much, fellow Nigerians. Thank you, political parties. We look forward to more robust debates subsequently. Thank you very much. Good night.
May we please invite the representatives of the political parties for a group photograph,
Yes.
alongside officials of the NEDG. We'd like to thank all of you for coming. We look forward to having you at the vice presidential and presidential debates that are coming up in the next couple of days. We'll take you back to our various stations, and here we'd like to thank all members of the broadcasting organizations of Nigeria. Good night.
Good night.
Light refreshment.
Members of the NEDG Board of Trustees, please wait behind. NEDG Board of Trustees, please wait behind. Attention.